Hey guys, this is going to be a map chat on Fisherman's Cove. Starting off south in a light tank. One of the best positions you can get into at the very early stages of a map, of this map, is to rush in south, so you'll go straight across, get down into this area, and rush into either this rock or this rock. I recommend more this rock. There are chances of you meeting mediums and light tanks trying to do the exact same thing to this rock, but getting into this area quick for your TDs is very, very beneficial for the south side, as it is much harder to defend from the south side push. So getting into this area is very, very beneficial early on. Uh, your just main objective here is going to light everything right there. If you can't get into this area, it's okay to be up into this area over here trying to spot across. It's not going to be a very good position though. So if you can't get into this area, I wouldn't really take a light on this side. Now, behind this rock is okay as well, but Artie right here will be able to hit you pretty easily. And it's going to leave you pretty open. Once you're into the spot, and if you don't make it to the spot, you're pretty much stuck here. So spotting what you can spot quickly, and so your tanks can take it out quickly, is going to be very important to getting out of this situation. So just be aware there's also a chance you could take a hit. So it really matters how fast you are of getting into this area, and how good lucky of spawns they got to get their TDs or mediums into this area as well. But getting to the spot is very, very easy to win a match. Getting good spots from here. So another spot from as soon as you spawn would be to go up here. What you're going to be trying to do is, I'm going to zoom in so I can show you better. You'll see this building right here. You'll sit behind this building. Obviously, after doing a quick scouting run onto the entire hill right here, you'll just run across carefully. Try not to take a hit. Just spot their scouts and whatnot. Then you'll sit behind this building, and what you'll want to do is shoot this building down, or at least half of it, so that you could see into this area. It's hard for these tanks to see you, and it's hard for you to see them unless you take this house out right here. So you'll take this house out, you'll look down into this area, spot the heavies as they push up, spot them as they tried to push up right in this area, and take shots easily. And it's a pretty effective spot. Like I said, again, it's hard for them to spot you. The biggest risk that you have is something behind you spotting you. If you do get spotted, just back up to the back corner of the building, sit against it, wait till you get unspotted, then make a run for it. But it makes you into a giant annoyance on the map. They'll put most of their attention towards you. It'll take their attention off this area, which will help your heavies and TDs push into the city easier. So that's a strong spot. But otherwise, throughout the majority of this match, you're just going to be floating around in this area, trying to kill off their mediums, light what you can in the surrounding area, or you're going to be in this corner. So those are about the two options you really have on this map as a light tank. Moving on to TDs. Now, I only recommend heavily armored tank destroyers go to this side. A Waffenträger E100 is an exception, only because of its high damage output. But E3s and 268s or JPZs are okay here. Anything that's really light armor isn't that great, especially without much camo. So like D4 and whatnot can work, but they're not. Not every TD is going to work well over here. Your heavily armored stuff is what I preferred, mostly because you'll be taking a lot of hits, because it is a spotting war. So they are going to try to spot you, and the ability to take hits and bounce hits is pretty important when you're south on this side. So your other option, though, is to go city. That's where I would also put heavily armored tanks. You can sit back here in your 268s and 263s, your lightly armored tanks, TDs can sit back here. You'll be looking from this corner of this building up to shoot across anything that tries to come across or pokes out right here. And as long as you have good camo, you'll be double bushed, so it'll be hard for them to spot you. If you're in a more heavily armored TD, it might be more beneficial to push up one of these sides, depending on what's over here or up here itself. So it all comes with what your team is doing and what their team is doing. But either way, having TDs in the city is pretty important. Alright, moving on to medium tanks. Medium tanks are pretty straightforward. At the beginning of the match, you could do the exact same thing as a scout tank does, because a medium tank is basically going to be a scout on this map. So either you're at the very start, if you're in like a bad chat or Leo 1, you can rush up, get behind this rock. You need to be in something fast. 62A and 140 might be a little bit too slow to do it, but they could. But you're trying to get behind this rock and light everything over here. It's all you're trying to do. And if you can't make it to that rock, then you do the same thing as the light tanks do. You light anything that's over here and try to kill it. You can come to this house and take shots at the heavies that are sitting up against this building right here, or into this area and take shots at the heavies that do get lit back here. Plenty of options for play in the middle. I can't really go over all of them, but you're just waiting to take shots on whatever gets spotted, and you're trying to spot at the same time. So you're just trying to be a nuisance in the middle. Drag as much attention to the middle as you possibly can. And a heavy tank, I only recommend you go city. Pushing the west can be pretty useless because you're going to be against a bunch of TDs, and in a heavy tank, that's your worst nightmare. So you don't really want to put yourself in a position to have to try to tank a bunch of hits from tank destroyers. So you'll go city. You can go to these areas right here. Push around either one of these corners when your team is ready. You can go into this back area right here, depending on how well armored you are, because it is kind of out in the open. You will get hit by TDs if you're not careful. Any TD that sits back here will be able to hit. So you want to be a little bit wary on the positioning of the TDs as well. But you're pretty much just brawling it out in the city, trying to push when you can push and take the victory in the city, and then immediately push up around the corner, take out the any tanks back here, and then push and take out any mediums in the middle. Then slowly move all your forces in and take out the TDs in this area. Don't go YOLOing across to get on cap from here. You will have to take out the TDs that are in here. I've seen plenty of games run where the heavy tanks that lived from city would outnumber the TDs, 2 to 1, but they would just YOLO across the field and get taken out by the TDs because they're already low on HP from winning city, and TDs have great advantage on this map as far as this corner goes. So try to take, if you have to, have some TD or heavy sit up here, get ready to get shots when they get spots, and have some heavy sit right here, and then some can push around into this area like that and try to get lights. Your basic objective is just to get to the bottom side of this hill. This side of the hill is a no-go because they can sit in a lot of areas over here and shoot into this open area, but it's much harder for them to shoot into this area without getting lit. So pushing up from city once you capture it, then pushing down right there is a pretty strong option. Or if you can, in a faster heavy, get across the field behind this rock to light anything that shoots is also very, very strong. That is pretty much it. So let's go ahead and swap sides and we'll go over north spawn. Alright, spotting north and a light tank. Again, mirror image of the opposite side. One of the best things you can do in a light tank is rush this side and get behind this rock. Obviously, you can run into another light tank or another medium tank trying to do the same to you, but spotting anything that's over here is incredibly strong, and they will try to come around this corner to kill you. And at that point, your TD should have a really easy time taking them out, along with your RD as well. So, very strong spot. Same as in middle. Unfortunately, there's not any really good places to hit the heavy tank sitting back here. So your main focus is going to be on to spotting the medium tanks and taking them out. And that's what you're trying to do. Now let's move on to tank destroyers. And the tank destroyers sitting back here, either right there in better camo, or back into anywhere in this area, is an okay option. You don't want to sit there all game though. If you could be more valuable city, you should go city, or at least sit into this area. But for right now, if you're sitting in this area, you're waiting for lights back here, waiting to get lights. If you do get lit, it's better just to back out down into this gully and get out this way and make your way this way. Because once you're lit once, you're probably going to stay lit, and that probably means a light tank or something got into this area. and you do not want to be stuck in the line of sight lit in front of all the TDs that are going to be sitting back here. So repositioning is always a valuable option as far as getting lit and not getting destroyed because you stayed in the same spot. But your main objective is just to push this side and win it. It's pretty straightforward. As far as getting into the city, you can get onto this corner to shoot down into here or into this area. You have to be a little bit forward, so you do have to be careful of artillery and other tank destroyers being able to get easy shots on you because there's no way to get behind cover unless you back up. And if they can see the whole time you're backing up and you're at a disadvantage, you're probably going to take a lot of damage just to get out. Sitting back in these bushes right here and double bushing up right there so you can see down this line and take shots at anything that gets spotted in this area is also a really good option. Wallful Traegers, Rimbas, Tier 9 WTs all do really well. 268s being double bushed up right here and taking shots at anything that tries to come around this corner or come around this corner or sit into this whole area. It's probably the strongest spots for TDs as far as protecting city. Sitting out in the field will make you very easily spotted by any mediums that come up into this area. So sitting out here is pretty dangerous, but sitting double pushed right here isn't too bad. And that's pretty much what you're looking to do in TDs. Moving on to mediums. Again, in a Bat Chat or Leo, rushing to this rock is pretty strong. You might get destroyed doing it. It really depends on where the enemy spawns and how quickly they get there. But for the most part, either rushing to that rock or taking care of middle is going to be an option. And again, there's not really a way to attack the heavies like you can from the south side. But your main objective here is just going to be to spot and take out the other mediums so that you can push around into the south over here and take out their TDs. So let's say you do take out all the mediums and lights right here. What you'll try to do is push in into this area to light. That's going to be your best option. Alright, and that's pretty much for mediums as well. So let's move on to heavy tanks. And again, heavy tanks in themselves pretty much should only go city. What you're trying to do is get on these corners and push in to this side. Again, you have to be aware that this spot will be used by some people. So if you get shots from this area and you're getting hit constantly by light tanks or mediums, just back up. There's no reason for you to try to brawl with them from that distance. They have a rate of fire. Most will have a rate of fire advantage, and it'll be much harder for you to spot them than it is for them to spot you. So just back up, reposition, get behind a different building, and just get ready to push in or stop their push as it comes in. And that's all you're trying to do. You're just trying to be in this area with the heavies and try to push in down this side or down this side to take out their heavy tanks and take destroyers out in the city. And that pretty much covers it for